Do you know what DARVO is? Well, it stands for Deny, Attack, Reverse Victim, and Offender. It is when the criminal changes the script so hard that they become the victim. Not just that, to make it more prominent, they even make people believe or feel sorry for them. And today's story also revolves around a crybaby like that. He's from my home ground, a 16-year-old boy called Shojol Barui. Hi, I'm Shiny. I talk about real crime stories while sketching, mostly to understand the brutality in real life and tone down the harshness a bit. So, viewers are also requested to respect the victims. This case isn't just disturbing because of the murder, it's more of how calmly they were planned and staged. Shojal Barui was born into instability. In the city of Calcutta, he lived in Dom. His father, Shubal Barui, abandoned his first wife and son and entered a relationship with another woman. Minoti and Shojal was born from that relationship. Years later, Shubal entered into his first family and brought Shojal with him. From that moment on, Shojal's life fractured further. He never saw his biological mother again after the age of 8. And as expected, he wasn't treated well in that family. By 1993, Shojal was 16, and instead of running away, asking for help, or confronting his family about the ill treatment they were projecting on him, he chose something far more calculated. On the night of 22nd November 1993, Shojal invited 5 friends, all teenagers between 16 and 17. They all came in his family's flat in North Kolkata. However, this wasn't spontaneous because it was all planned. When Shajal's stepmother was alone in the house, the group gagged her mouth, tied her to a chair, immobilizing her completely. When his stepbrother returned home, he was overpowered in the same way. He was first gagged, then bound to a chair. Shortly before midnight, Shajal's father arrived home and also restrained and tied up. At this point, all 3 victims were alive, conscious, but helpless. Shajol and one accomplice, Runjit, first attempted to strangle all 3 victims. The stepmother died from the strangulation. His father and stepbrother, however, did not. Instead of stopping, Shajol escalated. When strangulation failed, Shajol and Runjit stabbed and hacked his father and half brother to death. Oh, let me be precise. This was not a single blow. It was repeated violence until death occurred. The entire ordeal lasted nearly 3 hours. But what followed is exactly where Darbo fully takes shape. After committing the murder, Shajul instructed his friends to wash the murder weapons with mustard oil. It was to remove the blood and fingerprints. They cleaned weapons where they nearly arranged on a table, not hidden or discarded. Exhausted, the group opened the refrigerator and ate mishti or Bengali sweet. Before leaving, Shajul told them to leave coins on the table as a payment for the food. It was an idea he later admitted came from watching a television program. And then comes the performance. Before his friends left, they tied Shajul to a chair and gagged him as well, staging the crime scene to make it appear that he had been attacked along with the rest of his family. When police arrived, Shajul played the role perfectly. He appeared calm, cooperative, traumatized, and initially the act worked. But investigators later noticed something very crucial. Shajul had no injuries, no bruises, no defensive wounds, no single sign of struggle. Under sustained interrogation, the story collapsed. Shojal confessed and gave a detailed account of the murders. After his arrest, Shojal told investigator that his childhood was marked by routine physical abuse. There were burns from cigarette and hot irons, inflicted by his stepmother and brother. Whether these claims explain his actions or not, they formed an emotional backdrop of a household filled with resentment and violence. Because he was minor, his death sentence was later reduced to life imprisonment. In 2001, Shajal complained of a kidney ailment and was transferred to Calcutta National Medical College and Hospital. There, he built trust with the 2 constables guarding him. His girlfriend smuggled in beer, which he regularly shared with them. On 15th September 2001, he spiked the beer with sleeping pills, waited for the guards to fall unconscious, and walked out of the hospital without resistance. For nearly 2 years, Shojal lived as a fugitive, using aliases, committing robberies, hiding with criminals' network, marrying and moving across cities. He was finally captured in 2003 after masquerading as another criminal and being recognized by a jail officer. Even after release on conditional bail in 2010, Shajol returned to crime and was arrested again for dacoity and robbery. His last known release was in 2017. Okay, now this part makes the whole case a bit more risky. So, since then, he has disappeared from public view. Not to scare you all or myself, but he's probably out there doing the same, or might not, in my own city, which is kinda alarming. But getting back to the story, Shojol Barui did not just commit the murder, he weaponized victimhood, he reversed the blame, he made himself the survivor, and that's exactly what Darvo in real life. I'm pretty sure you all saw people like that. Well, thank you. That's my time. I hope you all stay safe out there.